Good morning, Internet. If you didn't watch the last update that I posted, it's just a quick little video that quite a few of you found funny. It was my way of coping with the frustration that came from trying to find an RV park in Florida. We have found a different solution. So when I talked to the wife and I informed her that, this is not looking like our original plan is working, it doesn't look like this is going to happen, that we can just hop from RV park to RV park and explore the area. They're just not a good fit for us. And in all honesty, even in a best case scenario, said we would have found one that didn't have all the issues I mentioned previously, then I'm still going down there with race cars, right? So where do you put those? Let's say best case scenario, you have a park that's fine with you having a trailer. Well, then how do you maintain them? How do you work on them? So it's just a pain, And then even on its best day, an RV park is still just essentially a glorified campground. So you have no privacy, you have no space, kids playing outside and the dog running around. It's just it's just not something that is ideal. Okay, so we were like, all right, we're 3 weeks away from moving out of state and we don't have a place to go. So my wife basically told me to just buy a property, buy a plot of land that we can set our stuff up on. And if any of you have ever bought real estate before, typically buying a house, a plot of land, whatever, isn't something that's super quick. The process of all the paperwork takes a while. And so it's like, wow, we're really pushing it. So I had to essentially find something right now. And went online, scouted out everything I could, and quickly came to the realization that the terrain in Florida comes in two flavors. It's either swamp or rainforest, essentially, when it comes to just like land, And if you buy just a plot of land that has been zoned for you to build there or whatever, and that lot hasn't been cleared, then a lot of it is literally just like dense forest where, like, say you would buy that plot of land and you truck down there with your camper, it's like you can't even drive onto the property because it's just undergrowth and trees. Like, that's not really gonna fly, right? So instead, we looked at, fixer-upper homes and like mobile homes on land that already had a cleared lot, that already had water, electric, septic, all that stuff, so that we could use it like a big campsite. And we didn't really want anything under 5 acres because that's kind of like the bare minimum of where you have room to stretch your legs, and you can actually live. So luckily we found something, and I'm so pumped about that. We looked at property in Inglis, a couple other towns in that area, Ocala, but where we thought it was a good fit for us was a little north of there, in the Gainesville area. So both west and east of Gainesville, there are small towns that kind of looked promising. So we ended up buying a property that way. And with real estate, it's not like done until it's done and you actually go to the title company and you sign the paperwork, but for all intents and purposes, we're in the process of closing on it. So we'll have a place to go, we'll have a place to park our stuff, and that's some really exciting prospects. So I'm stoked about that. So that's the best news. It's like we'll actually have a place to go next week, because that's how soon the move is happening. We just finished up loading our shipping container yesterday. This weekend I'm going to be moving more cars, and that brings us to the topic of cars. So there's also good news on the front of cars. So for one, the Mustang is with Gem Sport, and it's literally going to be there until the last minute when I can pick it up and then tow it to Florida. And the boys down there are doing the nitrous install for me. And the way I envision this setup to work, and I'll do a video on it when the time is right, but I'm planning on doing something that I feel like is really unconventional based on the research I did online, and trying to use nitrous system in a way that is not very common. And I wanted it to be done really nicely and with all the bells and whistles, and so those guys are taking care of the boatload of wiring that's associated with that, because I hate wiring, and those guys are doing an awesome job at that. So that should be ready for pickup, like literally the day before the move. And then I'll get to test it in Florida and send the logs back to Jake, and then he can tune the car. And it's the timing, of course, is wild, but it is what it is. I'm sure we'll make it happen. So that's the update on the Mustang. I think that's really cool. Extra 200 horse, never hurt anyone, so that's nice. And then there is the whole situation with, all right, I'm moving south, but all my drift family is up north, right? So I still need to drive with you guys. It wouldn't be right to not do that. I feel like I'd be missing out on too much fun. I can't have that. So I was going through my options of which of my cars to leave up north, and after much consideration, I arrived at the conclusion that I can't really leave any of my current cars up here because either they're projects that aren't running or they are cars that serve a purpose and have a role. So I can't really leave any. So the logical conclusion was you need another car. So I have found a car that I like, you know, how do I put this correctly? One of them overbuilt cars with a cage and all that stuff. So I found one that looks really, really promising. And much like the property, it's not 100% done deal because I don't have the paperwork in hand yet, but it's 99% done deal. So I feel confident enough to say that I've got it figured out at this point. And what's exciting about that, outside of the prospect of being able to drive both up north and down south, is that it's a new to me brand of car, or a new to me chassis, new to me motor. I've never owned a car like this before, and so I'm really excited. And that's gonna stay up north, and it should be a really good time. So yeah, there you go. Everything's good. The sun is shining. We're still alive and kicking. And one more week up north, and I'm already freezing my ass off, by the way. So really looking forward to moving down there. Hope everybody I know down there is doing okay. Seems like they are. Yeah. And let's see what happens next. Cheers.